going to crack on with this second episode of playing every PAL Europe SNES game. If you missed the first video covering 0 to A, I'll pop a link in the description as it explains what this is all about. For this video we're looking at all the PAL titles for the SNES that began with the letter B. It's a real mixed bag of some possible gems and some definite turds. Stick around to the end to see which B games will make it through to the final. Right, let's get on with it with our first title, B.O.B, or Bob I guess. I've no idea what it stands for. This is a fairly generic looking run and gun platform type of game that has nice animations and some nice tricks up its sleeve. I did play it for a while but soon got frustrated with it and at no point thought, ooh, I'll definitely go back and play that some more. The first of two basketball games in this video and the better of the two, Barkley, Shut Up and Jam. This was Accolade's attempt at rivaling the NBA Jam series. Sadly it falls short. Featuring a more street style game with only Charles Barkley as a licensed player, it clearly tries hard, but this was out a year after NBA Jam and doesn't offer anything better for it. A much more sedate affair sees me playing Bassmasters, which is the classic Pro Edition apparently. Honestly, I didn't have much clue as to what I was doing and I tried to give myself at least until I caught a fish at playing the game. I didn't get that far. Graphics are fairly meh, and I guess it would be quite a nice chill game, but it really wasn't for me. I would rather play a fishing game all day than this big steaming turd of a game. Firstly, Batman Forever looks great, but that comes at one hell of a price. The loading wait where the game tells you to hold on between screens is insane. The grapple gun is horrible to use and the level design is a confusing mess. I got stuck early on and could not work out where to go. I recently saw someone buy the collector edition pack that was exclusive to certain shops for silly money on YouTube recently, and I would struggle to spend so much money on such a dog shit game. Staying with Batman, and thankfully a much better game, is Batman Returns. This not only looks great but plays so much better. Final Fight-esque with big sprites, cool moves and great gameplay make this a real joy. I played this a lot and I would definitely play it again. My first Super Scope game up next with Nintendo's Battle Clash. I completely forgot I would have a handful of scope titles and this is the first of them. Fortunately the emulator lets you use a mouse as I don't own a scope currently. Because of this I can't give an accurate view of this game, but it did play well with the mouse and looked great. I enjoyed the different weaknesses between the opponents on offer and it kept me involved. First game in the Bs that I own so far, Battletoads in Battlemaniacs. Firstly, this looks awesome and has some great animations and a good mix of gameplay. Some of the levels are rock hard though with no checkpoints continues, which can make this a really frustrating play. But overall, I really enjoyed it. The second Battletoads game now, this time featuring the Double Dragon chaps. Not as pretty to look at as the previous game, but it did have a nice feature of having levels split between the toads or the dragons. Sprites feel small though, and it has more of a NES feel about it, but not a bad game overall. I wasn't sure it was possible to have a worse game than Batman Forever in this video, but here it is. Beethoven boldly calls itself the ultimate canine caper, and it could not be further from that. It looks okay, it was nice, bright and clear, but it plays horribly. The hitboxes are dreadful. Everything kills you, and it's just not fun. It's the worst thing I've played so far. Another game that looks really nice but plays like shit, is Best of the Best Championship Karate. Initially impressed with the smooth animations and the concept of a more strategic button presser, my mood started to change once I controlled it and got beaten for the 10th time in a row. Warlock, or Beware the Ultimate Evil of Warlock as it's actually called, is an interesting title. Based on the series of films in the late 80s and beyond, it looks and plays pretty good, although I had no idea how to use the orb thing. Nice side scroller that was pleasant to play and definitely worth a look. LucasArts' Big Sky Trooper is another interesting title. I got nowhere with it for the 20 minutes or so that I played it. The instructions given by the dog seemed really hard to follow and I had no clue what was going on to the point I watched some YouTube videos about it. On reflection, it looks pretty interesting once you explore planets, but I didn't get that far. I feel like I should maybe give this game some more time. This one was fun. Biker Mice from Mars is a quirky little racing game that is heaps of fun to play. Quite hard to master and sometimes the controls can feel fiddly, but it kept me interested and wanting to play more. The battle mode with friends looks like a good laugh and I would recommend giving this one a go. Biometal is a fairly generic shmup that was pretty fast to play and pretty hard too. I didn't hate it, it just didn't offer me anything new or interesting in the genre. The one exception to it though was the 2 Unlimited soundtrack. Oh yeah. I was getting excited for another helicopter game after loading up Blackhawk, but this is actually something else entirely. Known as Blackthorne everywhere else, this is a really nice cinematic platformer similar to games like Prince of Persia. I really enjoyed this one and will definitely be giving it some more time for sure. After hoping this was actually Blanco playing rugby and not some French fella I'd not heard of, here we have another sports title that was simply called World Class Rugby in other regions. A fairly nondescript title that looks a little Mode 7-y and plays a bit janky. Not for me. Namco's Blazing Skies is more like it though. Reminded me of the plane bit in Pilot Wings, as you get to show your hand at various flying missions and dogfights in World War I biplanes. I crashed far more than I should have, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Maybe when I was younger I might have enjoyed Boogerman's antics, farting, burping, flicking bogies, etc. But in my middle-agedness I didn't enjoy it at all. Fairly generic cartoonish platformer that did nothing for me. Boxing, Legend of the Ring got my attention to start with. I loved the look and feel of it, but once I mastered the hit one button very often method, my excitement waned somewhat. It does look good though. Bram Stoker's Dracula on the back of the movie of the same name is very, very meh. Graphics are meh, gameplay is meh. The game is just meh. Oh, and hit detection is woeful, and the whole thing just feels a bit rushed. Next. Talking of mediocre side-scrollers, next we have Brawl Brothers, which is essentially Rival Turf 2. It looks okay and plays okay and fits nicely into the oh look, another generic side scroller that's been done 1,000 times before. Yeah, yawn. Capcom's Breath of Fire 2 was actually released in the PAL region before the first game, which I do find a little odd. I presume that means this game can stand on its own, but it's a big old RPG style game, so it's hard to give it a proper thumbs up or thumbs down until I've given it some serious play. Often complained about for the amount of fights you end up taking and therefore being quite tough, the short time I played it did make me want to see more. Yet another sports title endorsed by someone I'd never heard of. Here we have Brett Hull's Hockey. I wasn't sure of the angle of play at first, but after a couple of games I was actually enjoying myself. I think this was more down to the nice controls over the not so great graphics. But not a bad effort though.
Beautiful hit by 15. Crosses the blue line.
I hated this game. I hated the fact that I had to beat this guy in order to proceed, but the controls were awful and they had special moves and I did not. I thought I was getting somewhere and then bam, all health gone. I hated it. It's been a while since we've had a cutesy character in yet another platformer, but like buses, nothing for a while and then two turn up, and what a two they are. Bubsy and Bubsy 2, both shown here back to back, are quite simply crap. I actually remember this game being advertised everywhere, but I never played it. It's just not fun, and I hate the fact that you have to look around to see all the bad guys in the small screen estate. Double yuck. What's up, Doc? Nothing actually in this rather fun and well designed platformer featuring everyone's most hated bunny, Bugs. The smarmy little shit looks good here though, and although some of the controls are a bit janky, I didn't really mind this one. I like the little touches too, like being rubbed out by the pencil rubber when you died, or the scenes being painted in. It's a nice little game. And our last game in the Bs sees us with a stinker. Balls vs Blazers is another NBA Jam wannabe. Actually, this game came out before NBA Jam, and perhaps those guys took a look at this and took a note of what not to do. The graphics are pretty bad, but worst of all is the sluggishness of it. It's so unresponsive and slow. I hated it. So that's it from the Bs. So which ones did I like and which ones will I take forward to the final along the ones I like from the 0 to A video? The games I want to play some more are Batman Returns, Battletoads in Battlemaniacs, Beware the Ultimate Evil of Warlock, Biker Mice from Mars, Blackhawk, Blazing Skies, and Breath of Fire 2. What do you think? Good selection? Should I have Big Sky Trooper in? Something else I missed? Please let me know. Sad DQ1 reckoned I should have added Axelay or Axlay, I still don't know how to pronounce it, to my list from my last video, and I have. So please comment if you think I have my head up my arse. So on to the Cs in the next video, which has some great titles in it, but until then, please subscribe if you like these videos as I try to get to 200 subs, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.